That's it. I've had it with this dump. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off. Dumb and Dumber movie deep dive coming up next.
So you get fired again, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I lost my job, too.
That's it. I've had it with this dump. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Okay, just calm down.
What the hell are we doing here, Harry? We gotta get out of this town.
Yeah, and go where?
A little place called Aspen.
Lloyd, what are you doing?
It feels like you're running at an incredible rate, Harry.
Quit it. We're not even through Connecticut yet, and already you're annoying me.
Sorry. I gotta stop or go to the bathroom. Just go, man. Oh. That sure is warm. Harry!
Dumb and Dumber, 1994. We got Mike Story and Mike Ryland. Got the mics.
The mics squared.
Yeah. So
Nice to team up.
Yeah, first time on the pod together.
Yeah, first time meeting. Why do you guys love this movie? Did you like it immediately? Did it grow on you?
It was a grower, not a shower for me, actually. I think the older I got in watching it, just funnier and funnier. Similar to like the Seinfeld. I know we were just talking about that before we started it, but my first go around with Seinfeld, I wasn't really drawn to it. And then the second go around, I think the older I got, some of the wit, different things like that, it just kind of, I don't know, falls a little differently, and it hit a little funnier.
All-time classic. It's eminently quotable, right? And the thing is, everybody you know loves this movie, right? Friends, parents excluded, but my wife loves this movie. We do quotes around the house all the time when something crops up. Like, I don't, like we talked about with Office Space, I don't remember ever the first time having seen this, but this is one that when it's on, it stays on in our house.
It's like the funny fat guy. Everyone loves it. You know what I mean? Like, it's got some blemishes, definitely has some weird script things, but it's so lovable.
There's
It's
some
so
things
funny.
that I could do without, but we'll get to that. But yeah, it's a top 10 comedy, no question.
So 1994, the year of Jim Carrey. I don't know if you guys know this.
Year of the
but
Dragon.
He is the first actor to have 3 movies reach number 1 in a single year.
No shit. So I'm guessing Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura first, and The Mask, then Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Dumb and Dumber was, I think, December 16th it was released. And actually, he originally was only supposed to make $550K.
This was
And
released in
then-
December?
Yeah.
And it still made $250 million or whatever it is?
And
Jeez.
after the success of Ace Ventura and The Mask, he renegotiated to get $7.5 million, I believe. And they paid Jeff Daniels $50K. So it was only a $7 million budget, I believe. And 17, and he got 7 of it. So crazy. His movies that year grossed
Jeff
almost...
Daniels made $50K off this movie.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh,
Yeah, but he really I read that too. He really wanted to be in this movie, and so he negotiated down in order to be a part
Because they didn't
of
think
this.
he'd take it for that much
Yeah,
money.
they said we're gonna lowball him because the studio wasn't convinced that he could do comedy, and so we're gonna lowball him. He's not gonna take it, and he's like, no, I'll do it.
Yeah,
and it killed
sign
him.
me up. So Jim Carrey's movies of that year made $800 million. That's insane. Like those 3 movies,
What?
and that was his first 3 movies.
Director also had a good streak of some pretty awesome movies.
Farrelly Brothers.
Peter, yeah.
Yeah.
Kingpin, There's Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene, which also featured Jim Carrey, Shallow Hal, Fever Pitch. He produced The Ringer, which if you saw that one, wouldn't be around today.
Johnny Knoxville.
That's the one Special Olympics one.
Yeah. He did Heartbreak Kid, Hall Pass.
Yeah.
You're
We're just talking about
than
that.
Wedding Crashers.
Peter Farrelly was a producer on Hall Pass?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Or no, he directed Hall Pass. Sorry.
Oh,
He
no
only
kidding.
produced The Ringer. He had a very rough streak his last 3
Yeah.
movies.
So
he
my
directed.
question is: so his start is Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin, Something About Mary. Bro, epic, amazing.
3 all-time classics.
And then, like you said, Outside Providence, Me, Myself, and Irene, Shallow Hal, Fever Pitch, Stuck on You, Hall Pass. Like those are okay, but like to start like that, what happened to the Farrelly Brothers?
Did they run out of good ideas? Possibly. They ran their course.
It started amazing.
Pump everything into the first part of their career, and then
I mean, because then they were getting paid
Aren't
a lot.
you a big Dumb and Dumber 2 fan?
It's okay. Who was dumber, Harry or Lloyd? Who do you think was dumber? Who was dumb and who was dumber?
I mean,
Lloyd.
It's got to be Lloyd, right? Like, there's some dumb moments for Harry, but when you look at the overall actions and just the straight intelligence level, it's got to be Lloyd.
I think Harry. Want to know why?
Lloyd is Dumber, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, agreed.
Yeah.
I think Harry because Harry follows Lloyd. Lloyd is the leader, and he allows if he's dumber, that makes Harry even dumber because he's following the biggest idiot ever.
Who's the idiot? The person who the 5-year-old who actually drives the car and drives it into a wall, or the guy, in this case Harry, who gave the 5-year-old the keys and said, "Go ahead, kid, I'm coming along with you."
Yeah, and wants to sit in passenger.
Right.
I mean, so that's my thing with Harry. Like, and Lloyd gets more screen time. He's the main character. I feel like
Harry also has a little bit more of a heart and a little more common sense when it comes to some of those
But
things.
Lloyd can barely read.
Wool host annual host annual an annual meeting of the
leads me to the dumbest moment each character has had throughout the course of the 3 movies. We'll not count the first one, the prequel, Dumb and Dumber, but dumbest moments. Story?
So wait,
For each
we're
character.
not counting the prequel?
If you want to count the prequel.
I don't know. I've seen it once. So.
Yeah.
I saw Dumb and Dumber 2. It's fine, whatever. But so mine are going to come from Dumb and Dumber. So for Harry, it's agreeing to help the FBI by going into a hotel room with a dude that's got a loaded gun and only giving him a bulletproof vest.
She grabbed me down the lobby and explained what was up. And then they slapped this bulletproof vest on me and gave me a gun. But what if he shot you in the face? What if he shot me in the face?
Right? Could have gotten shot in the face. As they say, what if he shot you in the face? For Lloyd, and I think this is more egregious, it's not recognizing the offer to be the Oil Boys for the National Bikini Tour.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow. The town is back that way. Two lucky guys are going to be driving around with those girls for the next couple months.
Like,
And you got 2 chances, too.
You have to pardon my friend.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
The town is back that way. What do you got, Rylan?
I actually only had one. And mine was for Lloyd. And it was Dumb and Dumber 2, so maybe that's a little bit of a cop-out because that whole movie was just dumb. But it was faking slow or mentally ill or whatever for 20 years just to pull a prank.
God, yeah! You should see the look on your face. I got you so good.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that you were faking for 20 years?
Uh-huh.
So you mean that you just wasted the best years of your life?
Out the window.
And missing out on all that life. Anybody who knows life is, precious, time precious. So for him to pull that prank, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
So mine are both from Dumb and Dumber 2, mostly because, like you said, it's just a dumber movie, and they step up the insanity. That was mine for Lloyd. He sacrificed 20 years of his life for a long-term prank, which actually is funny on Harry's end that he thinks it's funny, too, that he's like, oh, you did that? That's awesome. Like, okay. And he actually sacrificed 1 day a week for 20 years to change his diapers and all that fucking crazy shit.
And you let me come here every Wednesday for like 1,000 weeks. And it was all just for a gag?
Uh-huh.
That's awesome!
I know.
But for Harry, not knowing his parents were Asian, that his Asian parents were he thought they were his biological parents. And he's like, I need a relative, a blood relative to give me this organ donation.
So you see, my best hope for a donor match is with a blood relative. Family.
You know you're not a real son, right? You adopted.
Dad, what are you saying?
Sorry, Harry. We thought you know.
Wow, what a nut punch.
And they're like, well, Harry, we're not your actual parents. He's like, what do you mean?
I don't know what you're saying, Mom, but I love you.
Like, not knowing they're so Asian, too. Like, they are so Asian. That's just a long-term thing. He had all those years to realize that it's not actually his parents. He was adopted. Didn't know it. So, gotta love that. Budget. This movie, budget $17 million. Box office $247 million. That is a banger.
The ROI is incredible on that. I don't know how it blew up, marketing, word of mouth, whatever, but that is just a massive return. And was this Peter Farrelly's directorial debut? So he had to be just swimming in offers after this.
It had to be the Jim Carrey explosion, right? Because of the
Yeah,
first two movies.
yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with it. All right, Roger Ebert, Ryland's boy, rest in peace. 2 out of 4 stars for this movie, which actually I thought he'd give 1, so 2 is a win for him. And he did say he loved the scene where he sold Petey to the blind kid.
You sold my dead bird to a blind kid? Lloyd, what do you... Petey didn't even have a head. Harry, I took care of it.
Pretty bird. Yeah, can you say pretty bird? Pretty bird. Yes, pretty bird.
He said that he almost peed his pants, which is crazy. If he loved that scene, why he didn't love this movie? Because that's like pretty egregious and cringy, and he loved that scene. So I'll give him a lukewarm thumbs up for that review.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was thoroughly impressed by Jim Carrey, calling him, quote, a true original in terms of the comedy.
Or he was talking about his haircut.
I think that's a fair rating given the movie.
Yeah, I give it 3, but that's just me. Moving on to the categories, best scene. Rylan, I want you to kick this one off for me.
I've got a few that I think were hilarious. I think the beginning scene with Lloyd, limo driver pulling up, and then her answering Austria and him being like, "Well, mate, another shrimp on the bobby."
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
Austria.
Austria! Well then, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Hilarious. Also kind of a smaller scene, the airbag scene through the airport. I think his reaction of trying to squeeze through when he sees Mary drop the luggage.
Goodbye, my love.
Is pretty funny. Lloyd's dream, the way it ends with the stolen heart, and then he puts it in the doggy bag after pulling it out of the dude. And then the headlight transition when he sees, Mary's knockers, and it transitions into the semi scene.
And his idea of what he thinks high society is with the joke, like... no, but that's a nice ski mask.
So he said, "Do you love me?" And she says, "No, but that's a real nice ski mask."
And then the fart, he's envisioning what the party would be like with these high society types, which Mary is. Just, he's so fucking weird.
No, agreed. And then the last two, the glow up scene, everything from filing the toenails to the tap dancing once he picks out his suit. And then I being a child, I love that toilet scene. I think that's hilarious, and I can put myself very quickly in that scenario that Harry was in at Mary's house, being like, "Uh-oh, what do I do?"
Have you been in that scenario? Did somebody slip you a laxative?
No one's slipped me a laxative, but
That
I've definitely
about.
been somewhere where I've had to take a shit and been like, "Damn,"
Like a Dick's Sporting
Well,
Goods?
that reminds me, I actually have a quick story time I brought for you. So in 8th grade, a bunch of the guys got $50 together for me to take laxatives. 8 times the recommended dosage. Right?
Whoa!
So a lot. And as an 8th grade, I'd take $50. I didn't think it was that
Yeah,
bad.
$50, man.
I shit for 17 straight hours. The last 10 hours are straight water too.
That's horrible.
I know.
I
But
was still.
We were taking shots of hot sauce.
no, I was taking laxative. So
Who acquired them? Over the counter?
Yeah, you buy Miralax or...
Shout out Ryan Foster if you're watching. He was the ringleader. We did a video. It took 2 hours, so the video was nothing for 2 hours.
Maybe you can get Miralax.
I was like,
to
it's
sponsor
nothing. I'm
this
good. And then after I left there, I just shit my brains out. Pretty awesome. You got any other scenes?
No, that was it. I did think a little tidbit. I did think it was funny because we just talked about the bird and Roger thinking that was hilarious. But when they're watching the news later on and they're like, I thought it was alive. And
there's some sick people out there.
That is so funny.
And it's the guy in her bathroom upstairs, essentially, the group. Story, what do you got?
So the diner scene, I think, is my favorite scene in this movie altogether. The introduction of Seabass.
Feels nice to mingle with these laid-back country folk, doesn't it, Hare?
And that leads into the scene with the state trooper, right? That whole thing is very quotable altogether. And then when they pick up Joe, the hitman, they're driving with him, the way they just keep getting on his nerves.
You're it. You're it. You're it. Quincy's. Any Quincy's. You're it. Quincy's. No any Quincy's. No startsies. You can't do that. Can do. Cannot. Stamped it. Can't do double stamped it. No erases. Cannot. Triple stamped it. No erases. Tough blue. Make it through. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lloyd. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. Lloyd. You guys. Enough.
And then they're doing the Mockingbird song.
Mock. Yeah. Ing. Yeah. Bird. Yeah. Mockingbird. Don't everybody have you heard? Have you heard?
Hey, there's some other people. Want to see them? We'll pick them up. Right? Worst Sound in the World, which was apparently improvised by Jim Carrey.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
And then Harry Lloyd spending the money for the first time. That montage, I think, is absolutely hysterical. And that what you were talking about with that whole thing.
Handing out hundreds.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Here you go. Yeah.
I also love the opening scene. Also, just Harry, the dogs. Footlong! Who's got the footlong? Like, spending money to feed these dogs, which is just insane. And then Lloyd just talking, acting like he's an Uber driver, even as a limo driver. Like having this small talk with someone in a limo. Who talks to the guest in a limo?
Going
you get a limo.
Airport? Flying somewhere?
Why are you going to the airport? Flying somewhere?
How'd you guess?
Well, I saw your luggage. Then when I noticed the airline ticket, I put two and two together.
How'd you know?
She's like all nervous. Oh, you're much more likely to be killed on the way to the airport. Fucking giant accident behind him. Just amazing.
That he causes, right?
Yeah, statistically speaking, you're way more likely to get killed on the way to the airport as he's not watching.
There's really nothing to worry about, Mary. Statistically, they say you're more likely to get killed on the way to the airport. Like head-on crash or flying off a cliff or getting trapped under a gas truck. That's the worst. I have this cousin. Well, I have this cousin.
Lloyd, could you keep your eyes on the road, please?
All right, what's aged the best? Mike's story. What do you got?
So we talked about this a couple times already in past shows. Tight comedy movies. Really nice, crisp, 95. I think this movie, without the extra scenes, is like 105 minutes or something like that. This movie's exactly as long as it needs to be. The theatrical cut. And I'll get into the director's cut later on with some problems with the movie. But I love a nice, tight comedy movie. Also, Jim Carrey's comedy career, right? It exploded prior to this. It continued with this, and it continued for many, many years. Then he also did a lot of dramatic stuff in there. And then the scene when they are getting the glow up, like you mentioned, Mike, straight razor shaves. You ever had a straight razor shave? I think that aged incredibly well. Having somebody straight razor shave, it's a phenomenal experience. You should find a place and get it done. There's a place on Bose and Randall that'll do a straight razor shave for you. It's a different experience.
You like dominatrix shit too, then, or? Like...
Well, I'm hoping that it's not a weird cut your throat kind of thing. I'm just saying,
you got to trust
straight
that
razor
person
shave is a very nice experience.
And clearly, I haven't had a straight razor shave in a while. Neither of us have. Any other ones?
That's it.
Ryland.
I'm gonna echo Jim Carrey. Definitely aged the best. I mean, guy's awesome. Even if you're gonna go off in some of his different movies like Yes Man, different things like that. I mean, I feel like anytime I throw on a Jim Carrey movie, I'm cracking up. Also aged the best, I think, Nice Old Ladies, because that old lady apparently, there's some what ifs that we'll talk about later, but apparently robbed him, this and that. And when you think of old ladies now, like, they're nice. They're, they've come a long way from how Lloyd is depicting.
What does he say? He's like, well, dangerous behind the wheel can serve a purpose for...
Can still serve a purpose.
I also have peeing in water bottles on road trips. I'm not sure if that was commonplace before, but if you've driven to Florida, this and that, and you're timing your bathroom wrong, and you're a boy, there's a chance that somebody's going to say, hey, pee in that water bottle, we'll drop it off. Mm-hmm. Also, aged the best, most annoying sound in the world. I think that's something that still is said often when you're on some type of road trip or, you're just cracking jokes around with people. So those are my age the best.
Mine, the first one I had is trading the car in for the moped aged the best because in these movies, typically the car gets destroyed. think about the other movies. You have Road Trip, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like in these road trip movies, the car always gets destroyed. The idea that he trades it in to get a fucking moped, and that,
At least to that incredible line.
Yeah.
Of, just when I think you couldn't go do anything stupider, you totally redeem yourself.
Even though he invested his life savings in the fucking shaggin' wagon, so he should be pissed. And that's what you think he's going to say, right? But no, he's happy about it because they can make it there, apparently. Also, Tommy Boy, Due Date, Road Trip, all these movies, the car gets destroyed. So this is the one time they go the other way and have to trade it in. Amazing. Neither of them knowing where Aspen is the best.
Geographically challenged all around. A lot of references.
Lloyd saying, California, beautiful. And then the best line, Harry saying,
hate France.
Yeah, I don't know, Lloyd. The French are assholes.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, man. Like, one thing is in France. Jesus. And they could drive there, too, which is the funny thing. How are they going to get there? Their hair aged the best. You got the bowl cut, and then I'm almost going Harry here.
Yeah,
but almost, but not as crazy. Just his hair is amazing. So Seabass's hat, I don't know if you noticed this in the diner scene. Wine 'em, dine 'em, 69 'em is what it says. It's pretty sweet.
Yep.
It's subtle. Lloyd and Harry in the hot tub, the hot tub aged the best. I just love the paper thin walls and just him holding the shot glass up to the wall and them just being so hot. They're so happy. Like, they are hot, actually. Like, about them. Other people banging. He's like, I wish you had a set of knockers.
Yeah, that scene got a little weird.
So
It did.
that's not in the theatrical
that is
cut.
the extra.
And I had never seen that before until I put the DVD in, and I'm like, all right, this movie. I don't remember this movie being an hour and 47 minutes, but there's a ton of these extra scenes that the Farrellys put in, and that's one of my problems with the movie, which we'll get to.
And they're usually like homophobic and like they kind of push the boundaries. That's why they cut him off. But he also does call that place when Harry's talking about the night he had with Freda Felcher. He's like, it was a place that's like this, not as classy. It's a fucking like motel, dude, with paper thin walls. It's a shittle. But so how shitty was the place at Freda?
No hot tub.
You put the quarter in the
in
the bed, and it does the vibrating, right?
The last one I had for Age the Best was Lloyd's idea of the bare essentials. It's the last of their dough, as he says. He buys a giant hat, those spinner things for like a garden, a ball and string, and then he loses all that because he's trying to buy the paper Rhode Island.
But it's also 2 cases of
beer,
of Coors Light,
yeah,
right?
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
But no food, and the Rhode Island slut is just like the
Rhode Island sluts.
Like, that's why he loses his wallet. Like, those are the bare essentials, bro.
Rhode Island. I mean,
they lost their job, and that's what they're gonna live on. Just these like
regular
toys.
trip to Jewel Osco's for Rob Simmons.
That's what I do. Yeah. Well, I at least have some money. What's aged the worst? Hitchhiking. That is.
Yeah, don't do that anymore.
No. My dad tells me stories all the time how his parent. This is back in the '60s, right? He used to caddy. They would send them to hitchhike to get to work. Harry's massage, he gives to the masseuse when he switches. That's aged the worst because that's
He's like bashing his head on it.
that's strange. Yeah. Also, the long hug that Lloyd gives Mary at the airport, the unwanted hug. Bring it in. Strange. That's strange. You get arrested for that one. And the last one I had was Beck, the artist Beck. His song Loser, very, very popular song. That was supposed to be the theme song for the movie. And he turned it down because he didn't want his song to be, associated with a movie called Dumb and Dumber.
Instead, he went with the movie called Loser.
Right. Which is a worse movie. I don't mind that movie. Jason
It's not a
Bates,
bad
but
movie, but yeah, it's a worse movie.
yeah, so it's the worst for him because that's a nice to have in that movie. This movie, Forever, his song, he missed out.
Yeah.
What do you got, Rowan?
I have, for Age the Worst, I've got Sidewalk Smut. You don't see that.
I mean, you do in Vegas.
I don't remember.
They hand it to you, man. Although prostitution is still illegal there.
It is illegal except in one county in Nevada.
He knows this.
Not that I know.
He went to that county. Get the fuck out of here. You're selling yourself down the river, bro.
Whoa. A story time with my story.
Story time. Yeah.
He pleased the fan.
I know the county. I've seen the show.
Yeah. I got a different story.
I went there.
Also, America, according to Jeff Daniels in the newsroom. Any of you guys
that
seen
whole
that
scene?
clip?
Yeah, I've seen that scene. And I get what he's going at, but I'm also like, all right, so if America's not the best country in the world, then what is Jeff Daniels / I don't know what his character's name is because I don't like the Newsroom, and Sorkin's got some great stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love a ton of what he's done, but that particular show, very liberal, slanted, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So what is the best? If America's 17th in education and 19th in
Iraq.
Yeah. Syria, maybe?
Yeah.
With their human rights.
Women's rights are really great there. Yeah. They have a lot of...
I feel like we've gotten off topic.
Yeah, I like it.
And then I didn't have unwanted hugs specifically, but I had the inability to understand no a little bit. So
for me, what age the worst? Killing animals, right? The hitman, it's a sign of psychopathy.
Yeah.
But he's obviously a psychopath, but don't be going around killing people's birds.
Selling dead animals too.
Yeah. Well, okay, true.
Taping their heads on.
And then the whole
I took care of it.
Rape.
Harry, I took care of it.
Harry, relax. I took care of it. Rape. Then the whole making fun of rape victims. Like there's the whole bathroom scene is a little out there, especially in the director's cut. Like that extended thing.
Well, I thought men can't be raped. Isn't that a thing?
No, men can definitely be raped, and men are raped all the time.
Well, I guess it was by a man, right?
Yes.
And men can be raped by women, too.
True.
It's getting a little political.
Those happen.
Lloyd did also wish that he had a rapist's wit.
Look at that.
That's
weird. Full circle, baby.
Nice callback.
That's weird.
Also, cash-grabbing sequels and prequels. I think both the sequel and that prequel are both just there to grab for cash and making them for the sake of making them. And now we're seeing them all the time now. We're getting all sorts of just terrible sequels just for the sake
Except for The Hangover.
Okay. We'll circle back on that. And then finally, what age is the worst? Pacific Bell, right? Does it exist anymore?
It does? It doesn't?
No. Pac Bell?
Yeah, no.
No? You remember the commercial when they're crying, they're wiping their tears with the $100 bills?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pac Bell doesn't exist anymore.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. Casting what ifs. Steve Martin and Martin Short turned down Lloyd. I could see Steve Martin. I don't know about Martin Short. I'm not on board with that one.
Yeah, that one's weird.
And then Nick Cage was supposed to be Harry, but he wanted too much money.
Also, I read Chris Elliott and Rob Lowe were both interested.
I could see Chris Elliott,
Yeah, Rob Lowe's weird.
Way too handsome.
Yeah.
Way
And then
too
I also
crazy.
read Gary Oldman for Lloyd.
Yeah.
That one's way out of left field. Like, what has Gary Oldman ever done that's...
But Gary Oldman, have you seen True Romance?
No.
So Gary Oldman plays like a Jamaican gangster drug dealer in that with dreadlocks. It's I'm saying I know Gary Oldman from like Dark Knight. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think of Gary Oldman. But like he did that role like amazing. This is younger Gary Oldman, like 94. So around.
So
this
he's
time.
done some comedy stuff.
Well, he wasn't. No, he wasn't doing a comedy. It was just so out of left field for who we think Gary Oldman is. So I feel like he could have done this because it was out of left field for Jeff Daniels, essentially.
Yes, that's
and
true.
he is the best part of this movie in my mind. It's a hot take, but you have any casting what ifs for Island?
No, we must have read the same article.
Same article. Okay, recasting couch. Toss us over to Story. His segments.
Yeah, I had fun
excited.
with this one because
You always
there's
have
some
fun
good
with
stuff. So for Lloyd, I went with this is all modern. So I went with Andy Samberg. Love to see what he could do with it. And then Harry Dunn, I went with Adam Driver. Right? He is a serious actor, but have you seen the stuff he's done on Saturday Night Live? He is hysterical on Saturday Night Live. So it's a serious actor taking a turn into comedy who could absolutely carry it. Adam Driver would be great at that. Mary Swanson, this one's a bit of a callback to the Farrelly brothers. Cameron Diaz. Joe, he's the hitman. I'm going to go with Brad Garrett, big imposing figure, right? JP, that's his kind of assistant or whatever you want to call it. I'll go with Ruby Rose. She's in John Wick 2, right? So Nicholas, we'll go with Ben Stiller. He's got that dickish quality to him. FBI agent Beth Jordan. Journey Smollett. She's done some really great stuff recently. She was in Birds of Prey. Seabass, Joe Manganiello. He's 6'5". He's a very imposing character. I love that for him. Billy, that's the boy in the wheelchair. Ian Armitage, that's young Sheldon, right? The State Trooper, David Koechner. He's from The Office. He's done some other stuff. He plays Packer in The Office. The Chef, we'll go with Ken Jeong. There's a callback for your Hangover fans.
Fucking the Chef.
Yeah. Elderly lady who robs Lloyd, Kathy Bates. Mrs. Negaborin, That's the lady who's got the dogs. So Helena Bonham Carter, I think she'd be good for that. And then Helen and Carl, that's Mary's parents. We'll go with Sally Field, and then this one is just a wish casting, Patrick Stewart, because I'd love to see what he could do with this.
See, he literally recast the entire movie. Random actors love it. It's hard to follow that, but I mean, I gotta let him go first. What do you got, Rylan?
I had Michael Myers and Dana Carvey. I only recasted
That's
Harry.
I love
Lloyd.
Dana Carvey. Yeah,
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. I've got Tom Green and Jack Black. Maybe some Robin Williams. Kind of trying to figure that out there. And then I think very easily you could have taken Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan.
Oh, there we go.
Night of the Roxbury time period a little bit there. Put them together. Or if you wanted a little more modern, a little more older to match Dumb and Dumber 2, you take out Chris Kattan and you replace with John C. Reilly.
I was going to say, would you do this with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly? How would this have played out? Or would it be like
This
the
man's
Sherlock
recast
Holmes movie?
Will Ferrell in every movie we've done. Just so you know.
He couldn't do it.
He slurps on the will.
He's got.
Okay, I'll move to mine. He's
got range.
This is hard, man. Recasting the
This
main
one was
two.
tough, yeah.
Steve Buscemi for Lloyd. I love him, and he's never had a main
It's a
role.
real weird Lloyd.
He's
It
too
is a
old.
Maybe
weird-
Rob Schneider.
No, I'm going 94.
Oh, so you were okay. got
Yep.
it. Okay.
This is 94. Woody Harrelson for Harry.
Yeah, I can see
Because
that.
you know his hair in Kingpin, how it's all fucked up. Get him growing out his hair.
But yeah, Woody Harrelson also recently has taken a turn for the dramatic. Seeing him back in his days, his comedic days, right? His Cheers time. Like I can see that for sure.
Shout out to you for Mary. I also had Cameron Diaz.
Nice.
Because something about Mary, perfect for her.
Well, it's just a beautiful.
It just makes sense.
Like
It does.
Yeah.
She's hot. For Joe, the thug, I had Michael Ironside. He's a really, really great villain. Or Ray Liotta.
Starship Troopers, right?
Yes. Michael Ironside, Perfect Storm. He's in a bunch of shit. And Ray Liotta also. If you want more of the Italian
That'd be
angle,
great. I think that would be
Ray
great.
Liotta would
Yeah.
be good.
R.I.P.
For JP, I had Michelle Rodriguez.
What a waste of a recast.
This is more of a modern recast for her. And then Seabass, because Seabass was a hockey player, the actor there. No, I won't even call him actor. Jose Canseco. Give me Jose.
Okay.
Just that race.
He's got a lot of roid rage.
Yeah. You don't like it? Waste of a recast.
No,
Fucking Will Ferrell's a waste of a recast.
no,
Every
that
time.
man would. He would have dominated.
He dominates everything.
That he could be in everything.
Okay.
I think you need
Point
somebody who's got
proven.
like physical comedy to their game, and I don't know that Will Ferrell has a ton of physical
Thank you.
comedy.
Thank you. Okay, internet research story. What do you got?
All right, so you mentioned it in the previous segment. Cam Neely, who played Seabass, he played 726 games in the NHL. He was inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2005. The Farrellys are from the Northeast. They knew of Neely from his days playing for the Bruins. So the guy's a former NHL hockey player. Jim Carrey actually had a chip in his tooth. He took the cap off to play the role, right? This one's interesting. There were originally two endings. One where they got on the bus and one where they didn't get on the bus. They obviously filmed the one where they didn't get off. Jim Carrey refused to film the former one because he thought it was out of character for Harry and Lloyd. Jim Carrey and Lauren Holly were married for a brief stint. They met when she auditioned.
1 year.
Yep, for Ace Ventura. They reconnected in Dumb and Dumber, and they were married, and then they divorced in 97. Farrelly brothers hadn't even heard of Jim Carrey when they started to work on Dumb and Dumber, but then he became a star with Ace Ventura, and the brothers thought he was perfect for the role. That allowed Carrey to negotiate. Rob, you mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, to negotiate a salary for $7.5 million out of a $17 million budget.
Yeah. And it was originally, what, 500 or 600, 700K?
So I don't know what it was to
low.
start, but...
I mean, they paid Jeff Daniels $50K, so I got some really good ones here. Did you guys notice the poster? So their apartment was like not furnished at all. There was nothing, right? So the one poster they have is a chick. It's Bo Derek from the movie 10. Call back to Tommy Boy.
Kidding.
Yeah, which is hilarious. They just have Bo Derek. I know in the Times, that was a big movie and blah blah blah. She was in a bikini, not a bikini. It was actually a one piece, which is crazy. Like if she was that hot, wear a fucking bikini. I never liked Bo Derek. I thought she was overrated, dude. Like she was the Pam Anderson of the earlier generation. Pam Anderson's way hotter than Bo Derek. Give me someone better than Bo Derek. But maybe it's like Shawshank. Imagine him having Bo Derek on the wall. No, he had the greats. Not Bo Derek.
Yeah, the greats.
I just thought it was funny. I noticed that in the last rewatch though. I watched it so many times.
I didn't catch it.
And I was like, "What? Who is that poster?" Because it's the one thing they have. And it's Bo Derek. No one wanted to name it Dumb and Dumber, so they changed it. So they changed it multiple times to get people to read the script. The first couple names were Go West, awful, and then A Power Tool Is Not a Toy were the names of the movies that they pitched to try to get them to read
That one's
the
even
scripts.
worse.
Dude,
because
they're
there's
so bad. Go
no
West?
use of power tools in there.
No. And Go West, it's terrible. Dumb and Dumber is perfect, but I think people judged it based on the name.
Yep.
But that's what the movie is. It's Dumb and Dumber. The hotel they used was from The Shining.
Yeah, I did read that too.
is
That's
the
interesting,
hotel.
right? Yeah. The Overlook Hotel in The Shining.
The big gulp scene was improvised. Those guys were just literally sitting there watching the shooting with the big gulps, and then Jim Carrey, big gulps, huh? All right.
So those guys didn't have to get paid scale, right? Because they didn't say anything.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
gave them extra fees. Or
They're they're legendary though, right? 4
that
seconds.
line, big gulps, huh?
Yeah.
Well, catch
I
you
say
later.
that all the time if I see someone having a big gulp. And then the last one, this is a really
that
subtle
often?
one. All the time, yeah. Whenever I go to 7-Eleven. Lloyd's watch was a casino. So it's an off-brand of a Casio when he looks at it, when he's like the manly love. And March 25th, 2 a.m. or whatever.
Did you catch that?
I did catch that, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It
says casino on it?
Yeah. Not Casio. Which Casio isn't even that nice of a brand. It's not a Rolex. To have an off-brand of a Casio.
Right, like a Casio is like a $30 watch.
It's very typical of Lloyd. So I love that. Weak link of the film. I had Karen Duffy. That is JP.
Yeah, same. JP, that's Joe's second.
Let me do them. Let me do both of them. I'm going to go squeeze a lemon.
Just nothing there.
Who is she? Apparently she was an MTV VJ at the time.
Okay.
And they wanted to get her into
That's where
movies.
she looks familiar a little bit.
But she's awful, dude. Give me anyone but her. She's in more of the movie, actually. Not
What else
more,
was she
but
in?
nothing, because that's like her only time.
She's.
But,
I
like,
mean,
I
yeah,
remember
she's
her
in the
from
second
something
half
else.
when Joe is.
but they kill out. Joe's in more of the first half because there's the one scene at the restaurant.
but they're all together.
Dude.
Her and him are together.
Yeah.
She's in more of the movie than he
Yeah.
is. But there's just nothing. She's not a great actress,
awful.
and there's nothing there from a writing standpoint.
Awful. What do you got, Rowan?
I had her as well. Let me do them.
Yeah, do both of them. I'm gonna go squeeze a lemon. Like it's. Sorry, JP or Karen
JP
Duffy.
Shea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Karen Duffy, and then the character's name is JP Shea. We don't even get to know what the JP stands for. Or, it's
Jessica
weird.
Parker.
Yeah.
Heat check.
I'll tell you what I do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man.
Heat check award. I had a couple here. The payphone guy. Love that guy. I'm so pissed. There's other people. And then just gets punched in the face. I had
Fred Stoller.
Joe the Hitman. He's really laying it on thick. The cop, who was Harlan Williams, our guy from Half Baked. You guys been doing a little boozing?
You've been sitting back on Grandpa's cough medicine, have you?
Those are my heat check guys. I don't know who to
Pass
choose.
it over, you pumpkin pie haircut freak.
What do you guys got?
Harlan Williams as well, state trooper. I think he's in it for 90 seconds and just absolutely kills it. And then Cam Neely, Seabass. The guy's an NHL player and he rocks it. Those are my heat check guys.
Yeah, I had Seabass, the restaurant scene, bathroom scene is still funny. And then I also threw in there more of a heat check just because I was like, damn, when it happened, that Beth Jordan, FBI agent, at the end, kind of getting the surprise that she was involved the whole time.
What do you guys think? We're going to go with Harlan Williams, the cop, though, or no?
Yeah, I'd say he's...
When he drinks the fucking piss?
Get out of here.
I like Seabass personally just because he comes in twice and,
Yeah,
and has a little...
When he sees this Lloyd, he's so happy. He wants to rape him. So happy. Overacting award.
He saw me write a note and put it underneath Walter's door, so now they're going to think I did it!
I had Seabass for this. Just the look he gives when he sees it's Lloyd, the spitting in the burger. That's my overacting.
Nasty loogie. I had JP Shea. Just the trying hard to be thug or, mafiosa, whatever you want to call her, just didn't land. Extra time that we could have got back and kept some of those director cut ads, but taking her scenes out and just left it to, I believe the character's name was Joe or whatever it was.
Yeah, mine is Charles Rocket, the guy who plays Nicholas. R.I.P., he did pass away. But he just plays such a stereotypical mustache-twirling villain in the second half of the movie that it is just way overacting for me.
He lights cigarettes. Like, you never know what they'll do if you call the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks. Nitpicks, problems we have with the movie.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Rylan, kick it off.
The one I had was that Mary, when going in the limo with Lloyd, doesn't say anything about to blow a red light. I think that is the most patient backseat driver I've ever seen in my entire life.
She was tongue-tied, man. She couldn't believe what she was seeing.
Something hit her, but I can't imagine somebody not screaming.
Yeah.
She's also dealing with trying to drop off a ransom for her husband, so maybe she's not clear-headed at that time.
Or she's just a straight moron.
That's true.
We'll go with that one. Story.
I got a few of them. So Joe and JP were right behind Mary in the airport. They're like, I don't know, 8-10 steps behind her. How did Lloyd crash the limo, get out of the limo, into the airport, and then pass them in enough time in order to catch up and get the briefcase? That's one. This one is really weird. I didn't notice it until rewatching it, but so Joe and JP use this ruse of Joe being a stranded motorist to have those guys pick him up, but why would they use that ruse when they think Harry and Lloyd are onto them and they think that they've been tailing them for weeks, right? Because they call him the gas man.
Yeah.
So why would he think that that whole thing is weird? Why
Also, he says he has a luncheon in Davenport, and then he's going to go to lunch with them at a separate place. What about the luncheon?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, too.
I mean, what about the luncheon? So, like, was there not a luncheon? Was this the luncheon? Where's their constituents? They didn't show up?
Yeah. Another one, it's just the biggest coincidence of all time that Manly Love, Seabass, is there halfway across the country, and Lloyd happens to be in the bathroom, in that stall at the exact same time.
That's like Kansas, and they were in Illinois.
Yeah. What's the state before? No, Nebraska. That's right before Colorado.
Okay, but they were in Illinois, right by Iowa.
And then along that same line, why would Harry and Lloyd stop and get gas 25 miles from the Colorado border and then not get stacks or change drivers and then stop again before the Colorado border to get snacks? Big gulps, huh?
I know why.
Why?
Because they're dumb.
Okay.
Well, because literally they stop and he gets in. He's like, I've been driving for 9 straight hours. Let's switch. And they switch again. Like, it makes no sense. Because they were at a gas station, but a lot of shit happened. He lit himself on fire. Manly Love.
That's true.
You know, those your skis? Both of them? No, just one of them. I rented the other one.
Nicholas goes from on stage to back to talking to JP in like no time at all. That's probably just an editing thing. And then this one is, again, this is just a continuity thing. After Nicholas shoots Harry, he does 2 shots. The slide on the gun is locked back. That's indicating that the magazine is empty. And then they cut back to Harry after he tries to shoot Nicholas, and then Nicholas's gun slide is forward, so it's loaded again.
This man doesn't miss much. I got some really good ones. So the moped drive. So after he drives a 1/6 of the way across the country in the wrong direction, indicates that he drove about 500 to 600 miles in the wrong direction. And they were just about to hit the Colorado line when that happened. So they're 800 miles away from Aspen, is my calculation. Mopeds go typically 15 miles an hour and all the uphill and the weather.
They go faster than 15, dude.
Not in the clips
50
you see.
cc.
In the clip, but they have 2 people on it.
Have you ever driven out to Colorado? Like, you are going uphill the entire time.
And the weather, too.
Like, it's...
So
that was at least 150 cc.
I have 15 miles an hour on it. No, wait.
Yeah.
When the truck passes them, you see the fucking the lines in the middle. They're going so slow, dude. So I have 15 miles an hour on average, 50 hours for that trip. It's 500 or 800 miles, man. And a moped, they're not going fast. They have fucking 300 pounds, 350 pounds of shit on the moped.
I guess it depends on how fast that moped's going.
It's not going fast. You see it. When they're driving, at least, on that open, flat road, they're going slow as fuck. When they say they want...
I've researched mopeds.
I researched
mopeds.
Model.
That's
okay, well, I have 50 hours of commute time. Just from that point on, which is crazy. They would do it, though, because they're dumb. So the kidnapping scene, I just want to break this down. Why would they schedule the drop-off to be in an airport? It's the most surveilled area in the world, right? Terrorist, and this is pre-9/11, but
this is pre-9/11.
Still, man, there's cameras, there's people. You cannot set your bag down without someone flagging security. They schedule it there. Why would they?
Probably more, I think things change. I don't think people were
do it at a park bench for one. For two, why wouldn't they just do the swapping suitcase thing where they sit down next to each other and they fucking have the same suitcase, Fight Club style, the same brand, and they swap it? That's more like those people don't need to hide their identities. It's not the guy that, you know, the douchebag guy. So I just have a big issue with the whole situation, how the family friends involved, how much, you know, for that little bit of money, it's $1 million. It seems crazy.
Did you look it up? What's $1 million from '94 to today?
Well, we did the conversion on, what was the movie we did the conversion on?
Well, we talked about it on Office Space, yeah.
1.8, so it's probably 2 to 1. I'd say 2 to 1. So $2 million.
Inflation calculator, $2 million, 2.07 million. Yeah.
The whole kidnapping scene
that's not a lot of money.
It's
$2 million.
And the fact that it's a family
friend. You're gonna kidnap a guy and risk life in jail for $2 million? That's a little weird.
Last two I have is why does Mary have to go on a date with Harry to make it seem like she's living her normal life? That's what her stepmom says. Be normal. Do things you normally do. You're gonna go on a date with a guy when you're married?
A brand new person?
That's not normal at all.
I don't know, maybe it's a Colorado high society thing.
I guess. That guy, though, of all people, weird. And then they spent $1 million. We're going to assume it's $1 million. We'll get into this later, but in 2 days they spent it.
They had IOUs.
Well, I know, but how do you... I know they got the Lamborghini for $275K. And
might want to hold on to that one.
And all the other tips. Like, it's really hard to spend $1 million in 2 days, even if you're in Aspen. That's crazy.
Consider that they had to pay cash for the hotel room, which, as we know, stars
10 grand, 20 grand,
foreign dignitaries and stars of stage and screen or whatever. So whatever that costs times however many days they're there, plus the cost of a Lamborghini in 1994.
But that's still like only $400K. Where's the other $600K?
They had more
the outfits. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. The tipping. Are they giving them $1,000?
Nice outfits.
Now we're kind of delving into the territory of you've seen Casino, right?
Yeah.
Where he's talking about asking Ginger like how he could have spent $30,000. Let's say he got 10 suits and he paid $2,000. We're getting into that territory.
They are dumb though. Okay, scene we would add to the movie. Rylan, what are you adding?
I'd like to know what the old lady did with the stuff.
Yeah, the beer and the random shit.
Yeah.
She drank the beer and then put that shit in her garden and played with and then read Rhode Island Slut.
And to Mike's point, I think I really am not adding scenes to this movie because most recently, the last few times I've watched the director's cut, and there's more things that I think that I'm taking that pee break during than I am really adding.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about this in hot takes, but there's a lot in the director's cut that I think doesn't belong. But the one scene that I would add, it'd be a short scene, and they kind of do it in some of the deleted stuff, is I want to know what the first big expensive meal that Harry and Lloyd would have had after discovering the money in the suitcase.
Chicken nuggets.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would it have been? Like, would they have brought out a seafood tower, caviar, lobster, steak, all that, and they're like, do you have any chicken nuggets or something along those lines? Like, I want to know what that would have been.
Like the Step Brothers scene where they're like they have the fancy food they're eating and then they're having literally chicken nuggets and ketchup
and blue Gatorade.
Beautiful. I had another scene in Aspen before they find, they realize they have the money, because I do like that. Like, hot take for me is that I don't like a lot of the stuff in Aspen. I feel like the first act of this movie is funnier, and I want, after the fact, he's like, oh, you see the butt on that one? He must work out. Like, I want another scene between that and then finding the money where his hands, he has no gloves. Another scene there. Them going out to eat, something like that. Another one, though, is the Freda and Harry's romantic evening. They don't even show this in Dumb and Dumber 2 when he thinks he had sex with her. It's romantic. Give me a flashback of that. You know what I mean? Just what he thinks the place. He's like, it wasn't as classy as this. I want to see what his idea of love is.
Yeah. So that really becomes something you want to see if you watch the director's cut, because it's only mentioned as a one-off when they're on the bed at the very end of the movie. But in the director's cut, you've got that scene in the motel, in that love motel where they talk about it. It's
some little Philly break your heart? No, it was a girl. Pee break scene. What do you got, Story?
When they were talking... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's Lloyd's fantasy / dream sequence. It just drags on. I get the end. It's funny, and when it leads into the headlights. But for me, it's like, okay, after the first high society, like you said, Rob, where they're talking about what he thinks high society looks like to him. Part. After that, that dinner part just drags on. He fights too many guys.
It's pretty long.
And you can go and That's it for me.
I appreciate a good kung fu. So
It is, yeah, he loves kung fu.
I enjoyed it. But I would say my pre-break scene is going to be the Icelandic snow owl scene. Just there's some random little things that they're going into too much detail to kind of paint a picture early on.
Nice set of hooters you got there.
All right. Mine was Lloyd waiting at the bar. The landing on the moon thing is a bit's nice, but like, it's not great. I just don't know why. It's 3 minutes. You don't need it. The entry when he walks in saying they don't open for another hour, okay, but like he's sitting there drinking Coors Lights, getting one on him, asking him what time it is. Just I'm good with that. Not being in the movie. The Matt Walsh Irrelevant Actor Award. I had Charles Rocket. He is the family friend kidnapper. And fun fact about him is he was on SNL, and he said the F word on live TV.
Whoa. Really?
So, yeah. He was nixed pretty fast there. Hence why he never did anything. And you said he's dead now, so.
Yeah, R.I.P. He was...
Maybe don't say fuck on live TV, you fucking piece of shit. What do you got? Either of you.
So I got a couple of guys. So Fred Stoller, we talked about him already. The man on the phone, right? He's in Seinfeld. Yeah. He's the guy that cannot remember who Elaine is in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So he's that. He's also in Modern Family, Bones, Scrubs, Friends, Norm, Drew Carey Show. So he's done a lot of
Everyone Loves
stuff.
Raymond too. I mean, he was a fucking sitcom god.
Yeah, there you go. And then Rob Moran, and this one took me a little while, but so he's the bartender. He's in Hall Pass. He's the guy that whose house they're at with the sweater tied around his neck.
The guy with the fake wife.
Yep, he's in Star Trek Into Darkness. He's in Fetch. He's in Chow Hal. Me, Myself, and Irene. So he's obviously in with the Farrelly
I was trying to think where I knew him from.
There's something about Mary. He's in Kingpin. He's a bit actor in all of this stuff.
I knew that face. Yeah.
Rylan? I had J.P. Shea. I feel like I've seen her face, but apparently if she's not in other movies...
Well, you found it out. She's an MTV
baby.
So
she was famous. One Oscar to give. Mine is Jeff Daniels. As much as I love Jim Carrey in this movie. Like, it's the same thing for me as Step Brothers. Like, I give it to John C. Reilly. I give it to the serious actor going toe to toe with what we now know as a comedic giant. And I feel like Daniels is as funny as Jim Carrey in this movie.
It's Carrey for
so
me.
dumb.
Like it's so chalk, but it's Carrey, and he absolutely, forgive the pun, but he carries this movie for me. Jeff Daniels is very, very good, and his turn from dramatic to comedic is awesome. But Jim Carrey, everything he does, physicality, just the dumbness, the malapropisms, he's so good in this.
Yeah, it was tough to pick. So when we get to who won the movie, I have the other, but. For this one, for the Oscar, I'm going Harry as well. I'm going to disagree with the Step Brothers remark because that's going to Will Ferrell there. But when it comes to this movie, I'm going to give it to Harry.
It's all right. You broke the tie, baby.
Just due to the fact that he plays such a good compliment to an already naturally funny guy. I think when you watch Dumb and Dumber 2, you see how hard they have to be themselves. It's just something that couldn't be mimicked. I think they both did a good job. But if I'm going to give the Oscar, it's going to Harry.
You guys have a hot take?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
Ooh.
Rylan, can I?
I don't have a hot take.
Okay.
I don't have a hot take.
Yeah, you could take out some of the gross out scenes, the toenails, the stuff on the toilet. And I know you probably don't agree with this, but the movie wouldn't suffer for it. You could allude to that or have it severely cut down. I don't think you would miss anything. The next one, I don't know if this is necessarily a hot take, but we've kind of alluded to it already. The theatrical / Comedy Central cut, the TV cut, is by far the better version. The extended cut, the director's cut, that's an hour and 47 minutes long. All these scenes, the stuff in there, it's just, a lot of it ruins the comedic timing. It slows things down. It adds unnecessary scenes. So I think that the theatrical cut is much better. And then in the same vein, I don't know if you guys watch any of the deleted scenes that's on the DVD. They're all awful. They're all terrible.
Really?
They're all really, really bad.
So they got it right.
Like, the editor on this, give that guy an Oscar because he absolutely nailed the comedy for this movie and cut out the unnecessary fat.
Yeah, tempo. Okay, what memorabilia? I want the shaggin' wagon. For sure, I want that fucking wagon.
Mud Cuts fan?
I want Seabass's hat. That hat's great. Wine and Dine 69. I would wear it all the time. I'd change our hats here. And then the Heart hot tub. I want one of those. And I wish I had thinner walls for my neighbors.
Yeah, I went with the Mutt Cuts van as well, which seems very impractical, right? You're going to park that on your lawn, whatever. But then the Landed on the Moon poster, the 1969 poster, because you would put it up in your house and people would be like, wow, you were really into the moon landing. Be like, nope, we landed on the moon. Right? My wife and I do that line all the time.
If someone was smart, when they leave your house, they'd say it every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I'm going to take one of the suits just to...
Well, you got the shirt.
I got the shirt.
Love it. He wants a suit. Okay, unanswerable questions. Is spilling the salt actually bad luck?
They say it is.
Yeah.
Well, he says it
it's
is.
like cheersing with water.
They say it's bad luck. That you spill salt, you're supposed to...
Same as like breaking a mirror?
That's 7 years bad luck?
Yeah.
Spilling salt is bad luck unless you take some of that salt and you throw it over your right shoulder.
I didn't know that. Are snow owls really in danger? Are they endangered?
Good question. There's certainly more than 8 of them left in the world if they were in danger.
I hear owls all the fucking time. And then how much money was in the suitcase? They don't really ever say. I assume $1 million. It's a nice square number. It can't be less than that because they spent it on crazy shit, right? But it also can't be $10 million because they would never spend $10 million in 2 days. Maybe these guys would. So we don't know. They don't tell us.
That's fair.
What do you got, Ryan?
I've got, did the old lady actually rob him in the beginning? And then I have, based off of one of your memorabilia, is the hot tub scene. Is Harry a little floating on another team potentially?
I've split you like a log.
Yeah, right.
Mine, I'm the same one. So my question is, would the old lady have robbed Lloyd if he didn't make the statement about old people being dangerous behind the wheel? At the would she have actually robbed him, or would she have helped him?
He definitely offended her. I mean, that was offensive.
I didn't understand in the middle of the movie what's the point of the FBI lady's interaction with Harry at the Colorado border, the Colorado gas station. Was that? I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish with that. They're trying to feel him out. I don't understand what they're doing there.
It gets the ski quote and then him lighting himself on fire.
Yeah, I get it. I get what the point of it in the movie is, but what's the point from the FBI's perspective? How many quote-unquote foreign dignitaries and stars of stage and screen are staying at this hotel in Aspen, Colorado? Stars and stage and screen, fine, I get that, skiing, whatever, but foreign dignitaries are really coming to Aspen all the time? That's a little weird. How did Lloyd manage to get a driver's license when he could barely read? Right? He obviously has to have a driver's license if he's a limo driver.
Maybe a special license,
how did
too.
He get that? What is Nicholas's relationship to the Swansons? He's the guy, he's a
family friend douchebag.
Family friend, but he's in part of this kidnapping, trying to help.
He's smoking in their house.
Yeah, I don't get that. And then this one, does the FBI usually give civilians guns and then put them in dangerous situations? Like, is that a normal thing that I'm not aware of?
It was a sacrifice they were willing to make.
Sure.
All right, best quotes. Rylan, give me some quotes.
I like the airport, flying somewhere. How'd you know? Saw your luggage. I think you don't have knockers, the split you like a piece of firewood, or I'd like to eat her liver with some fava beans and a nice bottle of Chianti. Were some of my funny ones. And then I also like when he's like, yeah, she wrote me one of those John Deere letters.
That's a good one. I got suck me sideways. Like right off the bat at the beginning of the movie when he pulls up to the mansion. Don't you go dying on me. So he insults the old lady. Then he walks, and then he's like, don't you go dying on me. And Rob, you did it. Our pets' heads are falling off. Split you like an old piece of firewood. That's such a weird one. That John Denver's full of shit, man. This one's funny. Nice set of hooters you got there. The birds. We landed on the moon. We talked about that already. When he's talking to Mary at the end, I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy. Don't cut that up and put it in a short. One. And then this one, a personal connection here. Swim, Swami, Slippy, Sloppy, Swanson. Maybe it's on the briefcase. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Samsonite. I was way off. Yeah. Our very first time going to Vegas with our friends. We're waiting for our luggage, right? And everything's coming around. And I start doing this. I'm like, Sloppy, Swimmy, Swanson, Samsonite. A guy like 30 feet down starts chuckling because he heard me doing the line.
That's a cool guy.
Yeah, you get it.
One time we successfully mated a bulldog with a Shih Tzu. We called it a bullshit. Big fan of that one. You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world. Improvise, great line. No one's hiring unless you want to work 40 hours a week, which is just, as a job. So you're telling me there's a chance. 1 in a million, that's a chance? I don't think so.
What happened to that 1 in a million thing?
Yeah,
what happened to that 1 in a million talk?
Kick his ass, Seabass. And then the pull over.
It's a cardigan, thanks.
Yeah. Killer boots, man. And then Austria, well then, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie. Just love all those.
Let's
Amazing.
not.
Amazing. Okay, Apex Mountain, Rylands.
Hot tubs in hotels.
Heart-shaped ones.
Heart-shaped ones, at least.
Yeah, more ones like that. Yeah, definitely.
You could probably still find a Country Inn and Suites that has a hot tub in a room somewhere.
Yeah, no, you definitely still have hot tubs in hotels. I meant the heart-shaped part. Probably some quarter beds that vibrate, those types of things. Apex Mountain for that stuff. And then also aggressive, excessive pranking. Whether it's smashing the ketchup packet with blood, different things like that. Some of the pranks that they're pulling. I think pranks, the Jackass era.
They did kill Joe.
Putting the peppers on the...
They did kill Joe.
One cheat up and we'll tell you.
Yeah, they're so happy and just... He falls out. Ah!
But we were at some peaking times for pranks, and now you see a little less pranks. Everything's staged.
I don't know, man. Elijah Wood freaked out when he got punked or whatever from Ashton Kutcher when they switched out his car.
God, remember that show? It's huge. Story, what do you have?
Yeah, so I don't want to rip on anybody's career, but Lauren Holly, I feel like she peaked in this movie because I don't know what she has done since then. I couldn't name a movie she's in. Very beautiful actress, very good in this movie, but...
Should have been Cameron Diaz, though. So.
No, she's no Cameron Diaz.
No, she is not.
So that's what I
got. Jim Carrey, is this his apex?
No.
Question.
I don't think so. No. I mean, he's had a tremendous career. He did have that weird thing where he was talking about, like, getting together with Emma Stone.
What do you think his apex is, though? Because this is a third movie of his epic run that made his career. So was it Ace Ventura 2? Was it Cable Guy?
So
was it Man?
He's probably one of the most famous actors in the world, right around the time of Truman Show, right up there with Tom Hanks. I would say he's probably. I mean, he's coming off of just an incredible comedic run. He's taken a turn in dramatic there. Tom Hanks at that time is the best or the most famous actor in the world.
Jeff Daniels. I have yes because this and Speed was the same year, and he's been in a lot of stuff. But you had. His role in
Speed really hasn't been in a ton of stuff.
No, he's in The Martian. He's the NASA director.
Oh, yeah.
He's been pretty good. I'm saying
That's
this and Speed, though, in the same year, got to be Jeff Daniels' Apex Mountain. And then Aspen. Was it?
Aspen's so popular, I feel like.
I'm not saying it's not, but like Aspen. Who won the movie? I have Jim Carrey and then comedy. Mostly Jim Carrey because he parlayed this into some really bad movies, and he got paid a lot more.
Yeah, from external perspective, Jim Carrey, he made $7.5 million for Dumb and Dumber, and he cemented himself as the best and the premier comedic actor of his generation that time. Right there, within the movie, Mary won. She got her husband back, probably got the money back from the FBI. They probably gave her the ranch.
She got the IOUs at least.
Yeah,
I mean, she got those. They're good.
Might want to hold on to that one.
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You want to see my Lambo? It's a piece of paper.
I went with Lloyd. I think without Jim Carrey, you really don't have the role that Harry plays. I think a lot of it was predicated off the way Jim Carrey acted. I think he really, definitely won the movie. When I'm laughing the hardest, it's usually from him. And his natural ability to play that role is just phenomenal. I still can't think of how cringy it is watching Dumb and Dumber 2 and seeing him try to mimic what he accomplished in the first one. It's just like...
What I love is that they have nothing. They have their jobs in the beginning. They get fired. They have nothing, so they go to Aspen. They get $1 million. Literally, any of us. I don't care. We don't really know Mary. He's in love with her, but take the money and start your life and be awesome. Nope, they spend it all on a bunch of dumb shit. God knows what happened to the Lamborghini because they own that, right? Although they spend it on false pretenses, and then they're hitchhiking home from Aspen to Rhode Island. Back to their place they're probably evicted. And they have a chance to go on the fucking supermodel
Right, so they
thing,
obviously they can't they don't keep the Lamborghini. In fact, there's two deleted scenes where I don't remember the name of the guy, the butler or the concierge at the hotel. He comes running out after him, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you guys stay here and work?" Because they're like getting on the moped and helmets on.
And they say no.
They're like, "Yeah, right. Like we want to work at a hotel or whatever." Just like laughing in his face.
Fancy hotel. Yeah. Jesus, awesome.
So they obviously can't keep the Lamborghinis,
but they just have nothing. But they're playing tag again at the end of the movie. It's very beautiful. It's well done.
Quincy's no double take back.
You can't do that, Lloyd. All right,
you
guys.
can't triple double episode. You can't triple seven double.
Dumb and Dumber. If you're still watching, subscribe. I'd hope you would already.
Like and subscribe.
Let's go.
And it's been a complete joy.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.